The Jadeveon Clowney story caught fire right after we got off air on Thursday, and it has not really stopped since. The absolute latest, less than an hour ago, came from Diana Rossini of ESPN. She's on Twitter at DianaESPN. She tweeted, I'm told Clowney has been advised to wait for cut day to wrap up this weekend, as teams involved, including others, could possibly have extra money to pay the free agent. Either way, it's Clowney's call. So just a very quick catch-up if you missed it. There were reports from Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, basically Mike Garofalo, basically everybody who covers the NFL, Diana Rossini, Adam Schefter, all these major national ESPN reporters all started reporting yesterday that Jadeveon Clowney was on the radar of two teams, the Saints and the Titans. Now, about a month ago on this show, Mike Detillier, who, as he's stated many times, is very close to the Tennessee Titans organization, to their general manager, and does work on the Titans radio network. Mike, about a month ago, said pretty flatly that Clowney was going to end up in Tennessee. The Saints, however, have forced themselves into this mix. The information that is plentiful now, that's been reported by everyone, is the fact that the Saints have sent an all-out blitz to try to convince Jadeveon Clowney to sign with the team. Saints started calling members of their team, agents of their current players, to see how they might be able to rework contracts to free up salary cap space. As it stands right now, the NFLPA has the Saints at $7 million in available cap space. So trying to free up cap space, and reportedly, the Saints sent an assistant, an unnamed assistant, to Houston, where Clowney lives, to go try to convince him to sign with the Saints. So the Saints are putting on the full court press. Mike Vrabel, the Titans head coach, has come out and said they have an offer on the table. He's acknowledged it. They have an offer on the table for Jadeveon Clowney. Now we just sit and wait, as Diana Rossini reported, because it's Clowney's call. You have a strong feeling on Clowney to the Saints? I think that every time you see someone with this high of a profile, we always jump. We're like, hey, let's go get that guy. Look, I was all in on Leonard Fournette this week. You know that. I mean, I was really, really disappointed that New Orleans didn't put this kind of effort that they're putting into Clowney into Fournette, because I think that would have been the steal of the offseason. If you could have gotten Leonard Fournette for under $4 million on a one-year deal, basically 3.5 incentives get you to 3.5 for a guy like that at 25 years old, to give cover to your 41-year-old quarterback and establish a ground and pound run game, which we know Sean Payton has implemented at times. Man, I wish they had done it for Fournette, but here we are with Clowney. I'll put it to you this way. I wish the Saints had this kind of urgency for Fournette, but Clowney would be a nice consolation. I want to remind you of a couple of things. The New Orleans Saints a year ago were third in the NFL in sacks. If you're bringing in Jadeveon Clowney, you're bringing in a pass rusher, right? Like, can we all agree on that? If you're bringing Clowney in, your idea is to have this tarantula, this pterodactyl, coming off the edge opposite Cam Jordan. That's what you're doing in bringing in Clowney. The Saints were third in the NFL in sacks last year. Cam Jordan had 15.5. Second on the team was Marcus Davenport at 6. Trey Hendrickson, 4.5. Demario Davis, 4. The Saints returned 46 of their 51 sacks from a year ago. Basically, A.J. Klein's gone. Everyone else is back. My biggest question with respect to this conversation is, what Jadeveon Clowney are you getting? What Clowney are you getting? Are you getting an injury-prone guy who hasn't been super productive? Or are you getting the freak show athlete in a prove-it season who's the talented guy that warranted the number 1 overall pick? A couple of things on Clowney in his 6 years in the NFL. He has never, not once ever, had a double-digit sack season. Not once. His best season, he had 9.5. in 2017. In 6 seasons, Jadeveon Clowney has only played in all 16 games once. Only one time in 6 seasons has he played in every game. If you're telling me that I'm going to get the best version of Jadeveon Clowney, which in an NFL uniform was his 2017 season. In 2017, Clowney had 59 tackles, 9.5 sacks. If you're going to give me opposite Cam Jordan, 15.5 sacks All-Pro, if you're going to give me opposite Cam Jordan, 59 tackles, 9.5 sacks, I'm in. But couldn't I argue that if you can keep Marcus Davenport healthy, he's that guy? Do you realize last year in Seattle, Jadeveon Clowney had 3 sacks? 3. Marcus Davenport, in a limited role, in a season where he finished on IR, had 6 sacks. And very much is feeling the heat this year, given first-round pick and all that stuff. But when he's been on the field, he's continued getting better and better. I could argue you're just as likely to get that production from Davenport as you are from Clowney. Now, that's what brings us to the ultimate make or break, and that's price. If Jadeveon Clowney wants to sign a 1-year prove-it deal, if Jadeveon Clowney wants to sign a contract like Jameis Winston just signed, if Jadeveon Clowney wants to sign a contract like Leonard Fournette just signed, a couple $1 million incentives maybe get you to 3.5, I'm in. I'm 100% in. Gives you depth, another really physically gifted edge rusher. Think about the possibilities if you could put Jordan, Clowney, Davenport all on the field at the same time, like that old NASCAR package they used to run when they put all the blitz, they take out the big guys and put in all the edge rushers. Cool. I'm in on that. What has me leery is you're sitting here shuffling all this stuff around, trying to move money in the salary cap when you got $7 million available and you're heading into cuts, and you're going to tell me you need more than the $7 million you have to try to get a deal done with Jadeveon Clowney? That worries me because I'm not paying that for him. I mean, Cleveland reportedly offered him about $56 million. And he said no. He wanted 60. And no one else bid. No one else has bid. So he's waited. I mean, $15 million? No thanks. $12 million? No thanks. $2 million? All right. 4? Okay. All right. Make that work. 7? No. Listen, Jadeveon Clowney has botched this whole offseason. He had a monster offer on the table, coming off an unproductive season where he was injured as well, and he passed on a monster deal. And there were no other takers. He assumed there would be. There aren't. So he needs to go play a prove-it-year deal, play really well, and get himself a better contract. Come do that in New Orleans, I'm in. Anything more than that, no thanks. 1 year at the right price? Okay. But again, Tom Pelissero on Twitter, Saints sending an all-out blitz to sign Jadeveon Clowney, who has spoken multiple times to Sean Payton. At least 2 other teams still involved as Clowney's extended free agent saga nears a close. But as Diana Rossini told us, Clowney's being advised maybe to wait until cut down. So that way, see what cap space other teams may have available to see if he might have a better option. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.